No, not at all. No, it was very lucky, Dennis, because Melbourne was just a magical 50 years of what happened from there on, because this was a wonderful creative city. We all know that. All the things that it has been and it did, it had people like Hector Crawford and everything that just grew out of that, and I was very lucky. The advertising agency that I got into as an office boy, the office boys before me were a man called Philip Adams, and before him a man called Fred Skepsey, so I just stumbled into the most creative, wonderful place that it ever could be. In 50 years of advertising, this city was amongst it as much as anything, because we had television just starting, and I got very good at television because I was young. I didn't know that television was new and wouldn't work, because people still believed in newspapers, and radio was very big. And so the journey in advertising was quite something, which went on from there. And it was this city that did it. This was an incredible city, still is. That 50 years earlier, in 1901, this city was rich. It had the highest per capita income in the world. It had the most inventive people. It was a good place, and so it was for 100 years. And I was lucky enough to be here all that time.
You wouldn't have experienced, I wouldn't imagine, as much change as quickly as in recent times, as far as advertising is concerned.
No, I should say this, and you well know with the radio and what we're doing here now, that it's live streaming out there somewhere on the net, and I'm glad I wore a suit and you didn't, right? Because the people could see that you're not well dressed for radio, are you?
And well, no, not when you have people like Fenella in here filming you for the website.
Yeah, that's right. So, but that is the big change that's happened. The biggest change in communications. I grew up in the world of mass media. What's that all about? Mass media is mass communications for mass products, mass markets. And so there was a time if you had a Holden, you'd get a black or a white one, but it was very limited. Right now, or a Mercedes-Benz, a black or a white one, and that was it. But now, there are 50 different types of Mercedes, because it's such a world of the individual and different like that. But mass media was what I was in, and that was all the way through until 2000, when the digital age arrived. And the digital age is the biggest change in communication since the printing press. And so I was lucky that I came in through the advertising business. We built Australia's biggest media company with great Australian people, beat everybody else in the world. Just shows how good we are at what we do. Along came 2000, we started. My son was very good at this, is pushing it as much as anything. We started a digital business, and the way Google has taken off in the world, the digital age is the biggest change in communications we've ever had. And so we rode that wave, and we started a business. It was a public company called Image, which started from here, and eventually we folded. I should tell you I sold the business, Dennis. Some would know if they follow the financial pages. We sold the business 4 times. First 3 to ourselves, but the last one for real. And that was a time when at 71 you think, don't think I should go to work every day and do what I always did. Perhaps I'm not as good at it as I used to be. So that was a great city. Incredible that someone who didn't finish high school, didn't go to university, in fact I was a labourer when I left school because it was the only job I could get, could come to this city of Melbourne and just do what I did. And that's still there for the kids out there. But eating, and I finally put on, I remember this in kilos because I didn't want to know it in stones, but I was 165 kilos. Someone will ring in and say how many stone that was, so don't answer the phone if you don't mind. It was super heavy, I can tell you.
165 for anyone who wants to do the calculation.
And write it on a piece of paper and keep it yourself, please. But it was a dreadful word called morbidly obese. And so I progressively would go on a diet and put on the weight even more, and that's what happens. And what's really happened to your body is its metabolism. Your body's not stupid, and it says, well, that's it, he's never going to feed me again, and if any food comes along, it just stores it up. That happened to me progressively over many years until I think 4+ years ago. A very clever man here in Melbourne. My daughter, as much as anything, and her daughter, little grandchild, one Sunday morning, little kids are like this. I was in the shower. Grandpa, can I look? No, don't you, Alex, don't you dare look. Grandpa, I'm looking. Grandpa, you've got 2 bellies. And I knew, Dennis, that I wouldn't last. I was 165 kilos. I should be something much less than that, and I had the lap band surgery and lost 70 kilos.